माझा आवाज व्यवस्थित येतोय का घुमतोय?
व्यवस्थित येतोय सर.
व्यवस्थित येतोय आवाज?
येस सर.
ओके, ग्रेट.
सर आपण करूयात का सुरुवात? मुलं होतील जॉईन.
यस, 1-2 मिनिटं होल्ड करा फक्त.
ओके सर.
Recording in progress.
madam. madam.
येस सर.
आवाज सर जॉईन नाही झालं का?
येतील कदाचित, अजून नाही आलेले, जॉईन नाही झाले अजून.
अच्छा.
सुरू करूया.
हो सर, चालेल.
इंट्रोडक्शन तुम्ही देणार आहात का मी डायरेक्ट सुरू करायचंय?
नाही सर, आम्ही स्टार्ट करतोय. इंट्रोडक्शन झालं की मग मी माईक हँडओव्हर करते.
ठीक आहे. ओके.
Good evening, everyone. Initially I'm going to introduce you about the IAI student chapter. We have started the IAI student chapter in the year 2015-16. And under this IAI student chapter, we conduct many technical as well as other activities also to promote overall growth of the students. Under IAI student chapter, we have conducted several expert lecture, guest lecture. The expert lecture topics were from both technical and non-technical field, which includes technical topics like durability of concrete and other technical and subject related topics. And in other topics, we have also conducted the lectures on entrepreneurship development, stress management, which will promote the overall growth of the students. Along with the expert lecture and guest lecture, we also conduct industrial visits at construction site, water treatment plants, bridge construction site, etc. This gives proper insight into the subject and helps the student to understand the subject. Along with this, we also provide guidance on GATE and competitive exams. We have conducted many lectures and activities which will promote which will guide the students to prepare for GATE examination and other competitive exams like MPSC for our students. We have also conducted a student development program which have promoted the growth or which was a special effort for the direct second year students because they have missed some portion of the first semester. So we have taken student development program which have helped them to cope up with the whatever loss in the academic they have gone through. Then under this IAI student chapter, we also conduct debates, quiz, poster, and model making competitions, etc. The joining procedure of this IAI student chapter is very simple. Students who are interested to join the IAI student chapter can coordinate with the student coordinators, and by simply giving minimal registration fees, the student can become IAI student chapter member. IAI student chapter provides many facilities to the students like helping them in their sponsorship for the projects and scholarships for the students, etc. Like many the students can access to the IAI library also. So these are the benefits of IAI student chapters that students can avail. This was a short introduction about the student chapter. Now I hand over the mic to Rohit Rao for the further course.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very good afternoon to everyone. I, Rohit Raut, on behalf of Civil Department, AISSMS COE, welcome you all to this very engaging and informative webinar on the importance of waterproofing. With the permission of all the dignitaries, I deem it a great honor and privilege to introduce our chief guest for today's webinar, Mr. Jayant Khode, sir. Mr. Jayant has an experience of more than 25 years in the field of advanced construction techniques. He is currently a well-known marketing and sales professional in the waterproofing chemical business. He is on the panel of the Builders Association of India as the consultant-cum-trainer and is currently designing the training program for waterproofing labor. He also works as a repair consultant for prestigious residential, commercial, and industrial projects in India. He has completed a course of advanced waterproofing systems from IIT Madras. Till date, Mr. Khode has delivered more than 200 technical seminars in India on the use of advanced construction techniques and trained more than 250 applicants in Maharashtra and Goa. He is also into
Everybody,
Recording in
let
progress.
us start our webinar on waterproofing. So I hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Course objective. So today we are going to see, understand structures, need of waterproofing, concept of waterproofing, defects in waterproofing. All these structures require waterproofing. And swimming pools also. Which parts of building, because now today we are going to consider only building the waterproofing in the building area. So which are the areas you require waterproofing in building? So this is basement, sunk and non-sunk slabs for toilets, attached terraces, overhead water tanks, underground water tanks, swimming pools, lift pits, podium slabs, top terraces, and expansion joints. So expansion joint also needs waterproofing. We will see that. When waterproofing is to be done, during construction and after structure become old, you require waterproofing. So in new construction, during design time only, we have to consider different methods so that effective system of waterproofing can be designed, which will work as per the requirement of a structure. In old structures, perfect diagnosis is required so that without much breaking, we can do cost-effective waterproofing. So it is like a medical science, like doctor diagnose your health. We as a waterproofing concern has to diagnose the waterproofing problems, why and where is the real problem is. And according to that, we will design a system. Why appointment of waterproofing consultant is required? So nowadays, like different consultants are operating on site, waterproofing consultant is also a need of a time. There are different consultants working on site like foundation, RCC, plumbing, electrical, AC consultant, landscape consultant, acoustic consultant, and then why not a waterproofing consultant? Why waterproofing is required? See, waterproofing is required for basic 4 things. One is the stability of a structure, durability of a structure, aesthetic of a structure, and hygiene of a structure. So people are going to stay in that structure, so they should have a healthy atmosphere. That's why waterproofing is also required to maintain the hygiene of the structure. What is the definition of a waterproofing? Waterproofing is a systematic method with which we can control entry or exit of water through structure as per our wish. So waterproofing is not a magic. This is a systematic method, or this is a science, so that step by step at every stage, if you consider waterproofing part, then you can control entry of water where you require entry to be controlled, like basements and liquids, you require water should not enter in your structure. Where you require exit, in swimming pool or in water tanks, you don't require water should exit the structures. So in the both the cases, entry and exit, you require waterproofing. So it has to be considered from the design sheet itself. There are two methods of waterproofing. One is a conventional method, second is advanced method. We're going to see all these methods. Conventional method, which defines that last so many years people are using few methods of waterproofing. They are trained in that, they have developed a confidence on the methods because these are age-old methods. We call these methods are conventional methods. These are the few methods of waterproofing, which is conventional methods: integral waterproofing, brick-bed probar, IPS, injection grouting, box type waterproofing. These are conventional methods. Advanced methods. Chemical waterproofing is known as advanced method. Why it is called advanced method? Because last 20 years only this method has been developed, and today also there are different chemical companies. They are manufacturing high bond strength, high flexibility, elongation property polymers, so that they can use that in bigger span buildings, and then you can use that particular product for waterproofing. Yeah, these are the methods of advanced waterproofing. We are going to see all these methods, but slightly we have to brush up. Both the methods of waterproofing useful for concrete. So before going for a waterproofing thing, we should know the concrete. As you know, because you all are engineers, concrete is made up of sand, cement, aggregates, and water. These are the strengths of concrete we manufacture on site. Mortar is an admixture of sand and cement and water, and these are the different proportions of mortar we normally use on site. What are the limitations of concrete and mortar? Basically, cement is a basic binding material in the mortar as concrete, but it has got inherent property that gives you cracks. Shrinkage cracks is a basic property of a cement, and that property gives problems of waterproofing. How to control the shrinkage cracks? One thing you have to remember that we can control cracks, we cannot eliminate the cracks. So shrinkage cracks can be controlled by many methods. So these are the methods by which we can control the cracks. All these methods we are going to see in our presentation. By adding fibers, aerating agents, we can control the water cement ratio. You must be heard about in your concrete technology that by reducing water cement ratio, we can increase the strength of a cement and reduce the shrinkage cracks. So if you can reduce the shrinkage cracks, you will reduce the waterproofing problem. So now understand, here's a video, we'll see that video.
बस 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 आता हे थोडं दोन गमिले दोन हे बुचणं जरा आळ कर थोडंसं त्यात थोडंसं आळ कर त्यामध्ये थोडंसं बस 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 आणि तो माल टाकतो बघ तिथे आता दोन टाकू ना हा दोन किंवा तीन टाक एक टाक परत अजून एक टाक टाक अजून एक आणि आता पलटी मारल्यावर का आतमध्ये पलटी मार त्याला मधल्यामध्ये मार पलटी मधल्यामध्येच मार मार असं हा असं माल पातळ होतो का दाखव मला होतो का पातळ हा मार पलटी असं कसा माल धरा जरा घाल रे अजून बघ माल पातळ होतो का थोडं घाल अजून घाल एक भूषण असं महावीर काही फरक दिसतोय हा काय एकदम चांगला हा दिस इज अ डिफरन्स बिटवीन विदाउट ॲडिंग वॉटर आपण काय केलं माल पातळ केला सी द डिफरन्स हा पहिला माल आणि दुसऱ्या मालामध्ये एकदम फरक परफेक्ट समजलं दॅट्स ऑल ग्रेट
So now you can understand So now here you can understand previous mortar which has been made on site, it is a very less water cement ratio. The same mortar is good as an engineering mortar, but you cannot use that mortar for a plaster or for brick pad probas. So you need to add a water, but we as engineers, we want less water. So we have to take a help of a chemical, which we added that chemical, a black color chemical, which is called an aerating agent or a plasticizer, so that with the same water cement ratio, your mortar or a concrete becomes more workable, and then you can handle that concrete or a mortar nicely on site. So with this such type of chemicals, you can reduce water cement ratio and reduce the shrinkage cracks in the concrete or mortar. You can add fibers also in the concrete to reduce the shrinkage cracks. This type of fibers are these are polypropylene fibers, and this fibers gives you a three-dimensional reinforcement. Normally, which the steel which we use, that gives you only XS and YY direction, but all these fibers gives you a three-dimensional reinforcement, and such reinforcement gives you reduce in shrinkage cracks something about 85 to 90%. Let's see, we have got something to work here. Let's see which of the video is there.
Fiber reinforced concrete, brought to you by Lance Kilbride, Danny Henson, and Derek Dooms.
We'll see a different video. In this video, I'm going to show you the concrete which has been used with the fibers will be very difficult to break. The concrete which has been not used with fibers, it will break within a second. So you can have this video and then understand how fibers gives you more strength against the cracking and against the breaking.
Okay, perfect.
So you have seen within a second that within 3 or 4 seconds, a concrete without fibers broke. But now we will see concrete with fibers.
Okay, ready to go when you are.
So if you use fibers in a concrete, it will give you absolutely three-dimensional reinforcement, and then it is very difficult to break also because there's the shatter resistance is increased, and then it also gives you reducing shrinkage cracks. Curing also gives you a better results to reduce the shrinkage cracks. And there are two methods of curing. One is a water curing, second is a chemical curing. This is a coating we can directly use on a concrete after de-shuttering, so that it will form a membrane. That membrane will not allow water which is available in the concrete to evaporate out, and the same water has been utilized for curing of a concrete. So one is water curing, but second, nowadays people are using chemical curing, which is called curing compounds. Now we have to understand what concrete is a good practice. Proper cover to the concrete, good shuttering, proper mix of concrete, sufficient compaction, and timely curing. These are the good practices during concrete. But if you don't follow this, how is the concrete happens? Bad concrete. And if you don't follow all this, this is a concrete which is not a concrete. This is a very, very bad shape concrete. And if you want to do waterproofing to such concrete, then it is very, very difficult. So friends, if you want to do good waterproofing to a concrete, then your concrete should be good. bad concrete cannot be done good waterproofing. Last but not least, correct grade of cement also gives you a good shrinkage crack resistance. Now we will see integral type of waterproofing. So integral type of waterproofing is something, the liquid or a powder you mix during your mortar or a concrete during mixing. And we have seen this video, the liquid we add in that, because of that liquid, your concrete or a mortar becomes waterproof. So it is just the addition of some liquid or a powder during mixing. It is called integral waterproofing system. This is a box type waterproofing. This is a very known system of waterproofing for basements. People are still using this method, but in this method there is no waterproofing quality available, because normally people use shabat stone for this waterproofing, but there is no waterproofing quality available in shabat stone or otherwise in cement and mortar. So such type of waterproofing is not waterproofing. It will just give you a better resistance against entry of water. But if at some level such systems goes under saturation condition, then your waterproofing fails. Again, brick bed coba, such type of waterproofing, these are the red bricks people use for waterproofing. It gives a better slope. So this system is basically by using brick bats, sand, cement and mortar, gives you a waterproofing. This is not a waterproofing because it provides you a good slope, and because water doesn't get stagnant on your terrace, it gets flows off very efficiently. So in fact, other way it gives you a waterproofing. But all materials like brick bats, sand, cement and water, they don't have any waterproofing quality inbuilt in it. So brick bed coba is not waterproofing again, it is a good drain system. IPS waterproofing is again a same system to give you a slope, but where you require a lesser thickness or very small slabs, a span wise slabs are small, there people use IPS. IPS is Indian patent stones waterproofing. Instead of bricks, here people are using bricks, but here they use a small stone or metal size, 3-4 inch to 1 inch metal size they use for waterproofing, and that's why it's called Indian patent stone waterproofing. Otherwise, principle is same to achieve a good slope. Injection grouting, this is a cement slurry grouting. You use a cement, you use a water, some few chemicals to be added in that mixture and make a slurry of this and inject that slurry by gravity grouting or by machine grouting. There are few pumps available in the market with which you can inject a cement slurry which will go in the concrete structure and seal the porosity in the concrete, and in other hand you will get the waterproofing. I'll show you a video here. This is the way they drill the this is a mechanical pump. It has got PSI pressure, something about 1000 plus PSI. And with the help of this pump, this is a ready-made chemical which can be used for grouting. It comes as a powder. You have to add water in this chemical. We'll see this demo. So now with this pressure, the contractor is pushing up this cement slurry in the concrete. This is a bad concrete. This is going inside the concrete and sealing the porosity in the concrete. After the particular level pressure has been achieved, they will stop this grouting and they will seal this hole. This way, they are sealing the holes so that entire slurry goes inside the concrete. It sits there and permanently water has been stopped. Now we'll go for an advanced method of waterproofing. As you know already, we have seen that chemical waterproofing has been known as advanced waterproofing, and there are different methods of waterproofing. So step by step, we'll all see all these methods. Let us go ahead. Crystalline method. Crystalline chemicals are the chemicals which can be applied on a concrete, freshly laid concrete, and these chemicals react with the free lime available in the concrete and seal the porosity in the concrete, and entire concrete becomes waterproof. I'll show you a video of this. This is the way it becomes, and here's a video.
Concrete appears to be an impermeable solid mass. However, upon close examination, we see that concrete is in fact a porous material containing capillary tracts, microcracks, and sometimes macrocracks. This is a magnified view of a capillary tract in concrete. Note that the walls of the capillary are lined with the byproducts of cement hydration and unhydrated cement particles. When concrete is wet, the capillary tracts become saturated with water. Calcium hydroxide and other soluble byproducts of cement hydration dissolve in the capillary water, while unhydrated cement and other non-soluble materials remain on the walls. For existing concrete structures, the Zypex crystalline technology is applied as a coating to the concrete surface.
This is a red color, is a chemical which we normally apply on a saturated surface. So when the available water in the capillaries, they will form a reaction with the available free lime in the concrete, and then this is the way they will form the crystals.
When the highly concentrated Zypex coating comes into contact with the capillary water, a chemical differential is created. Driven by this chemical differential, the diffusion of Zypex reactive ingredients into the capillary begins. The catalytic reaction between the Zypex chemicals and the byproducts of cement hydration and unhydrated cement particles starts near the concrete surface, forming insoluble crystals in the capillary tract.
So this is a way crystalline method to be adopted for a waterproofing thing. This can be very easily applied on site. No skilled labor is required. So, and this is also a very economical method. This is a small drawing we can share with you. Already you are getting recorded this, so you can have this drawing of waterproofing. Another method of waterproofing is cement-based polymer coating. So there are two components, a powder and a liquid, mixed together and directly applied on a surface. We'll see this demo. This is a liquid component. Now it is a powder component. They are mixing on the site as per the pre-measured quantity supplied by the manufacturing company. You have to also see that the applied temperature of a concrete should be lower. You cannot apply on the hot concrete. Normally in the summer season, concrete temperature goes up to 60 to 65 degrees centigrade. So on that hot concrete, you cannot apply such type of things. So you have to control that temperature by spraying water on a concrete and then reduce the temperature. And once the temperature reduces, then start application of the coating. This is a crack filling and honeycombing repair in the concrete. Now you can apply with a brush. Or you can use a roller also, which will give you a very good smooth finish and desired coverage on site. So this is a method of cementitious polymer coating for concrete slabs. If a span of a slab is more than maybe 1000 2000 square feet, then you require slightly better flexible material, and such type of acrylic coatings are available in the market, which has got a flexibility of something about 300%. In this type of coatings, no cement is required. This is a ready-made products. No curing is also required. It is directly to be mixed with water and apply on the concrete slab. I'll show you a video in this. Now you will understand here, the person is applying this particular products on a steel roof. This is an industrial shade and he is using some spray machine for application of this thing. So this type of coatings can also be used on a metal roof to stop a rusting of a metal and also to seal very fine pinholes in the metal to stop the waterproofing leakages in the industrial shade.
Probably about a 30,000 tip, maybe a 60,000.
Yeah. So this is the way people apply this elastometric coatings on site. You can also use rollers. Yeah, this is a terrace where the applicator is using a roller, and then it doesn't require any protection because such type of coatings are UV resistant and you can directly walk on this surface. No problem, nothing will happen to this coatings. A normal walking or pedestrian traffic is absolutely okay. This is a site, I think so, one of our applicator has done on the Pune-Satar road. Now, if the span is still bigger, now people are using something about 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 square feet area, then you may be going for a reinforced coating. The same product chemicals to be used with some reinforcement, and then you get better and better tensile strength to the coating, which will resist further future cracks in the concrete. I'll show you the video. So if the span of a concrete is huge, then you can use such type of reinforced in the concrete.
fabric and lay along the perimeter.
Yeah. This
Coating,
white color
fabric,
is a
coating.
membrane.
Place the trim onto the wet coating and fix mechanically in place. Lay the field area, 1000 millimeter fabric, up to the horizontal edge of the trim. Coating, fabric, coating.
This roller is called a reinforcement cloth or fleece. In our technical term, we call it as a fleece, FLEECE fleece. And the thickness of this cloth depends upon what is a DFT, dry film thickness is required for a coating. So it ranges from 50 GSM to 150 GSM. This all depend upon the site condition and the consultant requirement.
Before proceeding with the field area, use 250 millimeter wide fabric to lay the perimeter detail. Coating, fabric, coating. Joint details. Using 150 millimeter fabric across all joins in the deck surface. Coating, fabric, coating. Line up the 1 meter wide fabric roll with the edge of the deck, overlapping the existing detail work. Care should be taken to line up the fabric roll so that a straight edge can be achieved for the length of the pass. Apply a base coat. Use the brush with a prodding motion to firmly embed the fabric. Fold back the outer section of fabric and apply a base coat up to the perimeter. Fold back and embed the fabric using the brush. Apply a base coat of liquid.
So this is the way people are using membranes in waterproofing. So these membranes are called reinforced membranes, and which will give you a very good tensile strength to your waterproofing coatings. Bitumen-based waterproofing. This is a very that way old system, but now people have changed the specification in the system. Bituminous reinforced coating also been used. There are two methods of this membrane. One is torch-on applied. There is a petrol torch is required to lay this membrane on the surface. And secondly, this is a cold applied thing. So people use primer to apply the membrane or the coating. This membrane comes in the sheet form and directly can be applied on a surface. Yeah, this is a torch-on membrane. So people are using torch.
SBS waterproof side upward, inside and outside, and then cut a piece of round shapes.
So this is a torch they are using.
Next, hot melt the overlap edges. Use spraying gun to fully bake the overlap edges until there will molten bitumen extruded from the edges to form a uniform 8 mm bituminous strip. And make sure the two layers of the overlap edges are fully bonded. At the end, put bricks on top of the position. And roll the membrane after the stress is released, about half an hour. Then start the large area point bonding construction. Bond no less than 5 points per square meter. The 7th step, lap joint construction. The overlap edges should be hot melt fully bonded. One worker to conduct the hot melt procedure while the other worker follow after him and perform air exhaust and compression process with a large press roller. A 8 mm width bitumen strip should be extruded from the overlap edges after the process.
So this is a method of bituminous membrane by torch-on membrane, hot torch. But there is another method. Let's see. Yeah, this is one which can be used by a primer method. I'll show you this. I'll just slowly go.
The green lock products will take longer to cure.
This is a method.
Store the green-like materials properly to protect them before use. Keep dry and at 70 degrees Fahrenheit for complete requirements. If you are installing a nailed base sheet instead of insulation, then you must use a mud sheet. Start at the low point of the roof with an appropriate roll. For a liberal installed roof system, plain adhesive systems must not be applied.
Yeah. So these are the two methods of APP membrane waterproofing. Epoxy-based waterproofing is another method where hardener and resin is used, mixed together and applied with a brush or a roller so that you get continuous membrane form. This becomes a plastic membrane. But friends, this method is not UV stable. You have to put plaster or some cover on this membrane, epoxy membrane, so that it will give you better and better life. You cannot keep these membranes exposed. Let's go further. Quick setting cement-based waterproofing. Many times on site, we observe that while doing a concreting, we come out with the oozing water from the basement. We'll see that video. And till the time we don't stop that oozing water which is coming from the ground, we can't do the concreting. In such situation, you require a fast setting plugging compound which will stop your water instantly, and then after stopping water, you can start doing your concreting. So let us understand how the water get your problem. Here, this is you can see this water oozing out from the basement. So this is a way you find that there is a oozing of water from the basement. Now, if that oozing of water is there, we just can't do the concreting because water will get mixed with the concrete and entire strength get reduced, or will not achieve the strength. But next, what will happen? This is a fast setting cement. You can see yeah. So you have seen that this oozing water also can be stopped within 30-40 seconds, and then you can now take further concreting. So such type of quick setting cements are also required on site to stop oozing water from a rocky or maybe from sondisoids. LDP membrane waterproofing. LDP stands for low density polyethylene, and this is a ready-made membrane. The size of these membranes comes from 25 meter to 7 meter. That is, one piece of this membrane is something around 2,000 square feet. And if you have got a size, basement size is 5,000 square feet, then hardly 2.5 membranes are required. Then there are no joints. It's absolutely jointless system, and this is loosely laid on a PCC, and after that you do the concreting so that the water rising from the bottom is completely stopped. I'll show you some videos here. Yeah, this is the way people use this membrane. This is a membrane loosely laid on the side. This is before raft has been done, and this gentleman is doing joint sealing. This is, I think, 5,000 square feet of sides of site, and very less joints are there. Only one joint here, the next joint is there. So this is the way people are using this membrane. After that, they seal the joints. This is the way they see. This is the ready-made tape is available, and after that tape, they are using this polymer coating, which will give the better strength to the joint, and the joint will not give any leakage. So this is the way they use joint sealing. And this is a detailed photographs, a step-by-step photograph how people use such membranes on site. This is LDP, low density polyethylene. So once it goes below the ground, the life of this membrane is more than 100 years. So if you want to go for 10 years and 25 years, the life of this membranes exposed, if it's been kept, is 25 years. So below the ground, it is more than 100 years. Cost, it is very, very economical as compared to the bauxite waterproofing. This is another photographs for podium slabs waterproofing using LDP membrane. So this is a podium slab. They are using the 120 GSM cloth just as a cushion. After that, they are putting here LDP membrane. Again, to protect that LDP membrane, they are covering with the 120 GSM cloth, and over that, they are putting the interlocking blocks, and then the site is finished. So it was a podium slab. Now it is like a traffic area, and people can drive their vehicles on this thing, but water will not go. If water comes on the surface, it will drain off and it will drain out of the podium slab. This is another photograph where the same membrane can be used for garden podiums. So if you are designing any gardens on podium slab, the same membrane can be utilized, and you can do your landscaping and other amenities on a podium slab. Now we will see a different membrane, which the membrane called butyl membrane. These membranes are ready-made tapes, and these tapes can be used to seal the joints between the metal to metal joints or industrial J-hook joints. These are ready-made things. I'll show you here a demo.
बारीक कर आणि कुठे लावतो आपण
This is a J-hook where normally these J-hook get rusted and water start penetrating from this J-hook in the industrial shade. So we have to seal the joints by using butyl tapes.
पहिले बोल्टला दाब हे खाली बघा
So this is the way this type of membrane, or you can say butyl tape, can be used for different use where waterproofing is a need in industrial shades. You can also use this membrane to seal the pinholes which normally form because of the rusting in the metal roof. You can just take this like we do normally repairing of a puncture. You can use these tapes on your metal roofs also, or also for your syntax tanks or plastic tanks repairing. PVC membranes, again PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride membrane. These membranes comes in size of 1.5 meter to 1.5 mm to 2 mm size. In the roll maybe 10 meter or 20 meters. Such type of membrane required really a skilled labor to be handled on site, because it has been used with hot air gun. I'll show you a demo. Sorry. Sorry, the video is not running. We'll go ahead. This is another type of membrane waterproofing. These are all membrane waterproofing. I'm just giving you introduction. This is really difficult to explain you all this membrane in such a short time, but you can have a look of this membrane, different type of membranes. EPDM membrane, ethylene, propylene, diene membrane. This again is a 1.5 mm to 2 mm thickness, and you can use such membranes for waterproofing. I'll show you a demo here. And this is a black color membrane. He has applied gum and also applied a gum on this surface, so they'll have a perfect bond between two membranes, and he's fixing that membrane by pressing it by a roller. We normally use brush and roller for application of this gum, but these are advanced countries. They use spray for application of gum on both the surface, so that the uniform thickness of gum has been achieved and you get better and better coverage. And this is where they applied the membranes. So this is another membrane we apply use for terrace waterproofing. French drain system. This is a waterproofing system, but the system of waterproofing has been achieved by draining the water out of the basement area. So there are different pipes, there are different belts are available through which the water, which is groundwater, can be drained out of the basement, and then you can get better and better waterproofing. Let us understand how they do it.
What we are seeing here is essentially a French drain system.
This is a video we have taken from one of our site where we have used pipes having drains on the bottom, and then we are draining out the entire water from the basement and achieving the water table to be reduced so that water level will not rise in the basement.
The high uplift water pressure could be laid a net orange pipe will act. The important thing to be noted over
These
here.
are the pipes which have been placed, the holes are on bottom. Normally we put holes on top, but in such French drain systems, holes are being kept at the bottom, and now you will see if the water table rises, water will go in the holes first because of the capillary action, and then it will get drained towards the drain.
Is the perforations will enter the pipe covered with aggregates from bottom as well as from the sides. The sump well has to be dewatered continuously, because if water pressure is allowed to be built inside the sump well, then the water will flow backwards and the entire system will be rendered useless. So as you can see, once the filling has been completed, water will start entering from these pipes. Now this proves that our system has been successful.
Now, from one point, we have drained the water to the sump well, so the other area becomes absolutely dry and you achieve the waterproofing of it. So this is another method by which draining of water you can achieve the waterproofing. Let's go ahead. Liquid applied membranes. You have seen different membrane which is preform membranes. They are available in different shapes, maybe sizes also 25 meter by 7 meter or 1.5 meter by 2 meter sizes and all that. But here, this is a liquid available. You can apply this liquid with a brush or a roller, and after drying that liquid, the surface becomes a membrane. I'll show you the video here. Before application of any membrane, you require concrete surface should be clean. So this particular contractor is using air blower to make the concrete absolutely dust free, and after that he will apply a coat. So this is the way they apply a primer coat on a surface. You can use a brush, you also can use a roller, so that the entire concrete surface becomes dust free. And after drying of this primer, you can start applying reinforced coating. I'll show you here. Yeah, this is the way they take the use of a roller, apply first coat. This is a mesh cloth. You can use this mesh cloth as a reinforcement cloth in the membrane or in the coating. They will embed this cloth in the coating as shown in this video.
बरोबर
योगेश तू मारत नाही तिथं मला क्लीन पाहिजे मला दाखवायचं त्यानंतर चालू करायचं काय करायचं नाही चालू करायची काय
हॅलो का मारो नाही रे बाबा एवढं हा काही आठवण उपाशी ठेवेल.
So this is the way they apply a membrane, and then after drying it will form a jointless membrane. So this is called liquid applied membrane. So while during application it is a liquid, but after drying it becomes a membrane. So these are type of membranes as very new technology in the waterproofing, and many builders are using such technology nowadays on site. Yeah, this is a few photographs where this particular person is using a spray, and after application of spray, such type of membranes do happen on a concrete surface. A grouting method. We have already seen a cement grouting, but now here we are going to use a very advanced technology called PU. PU stands for polyurethane grouting. This chemical expands in connection with the water, and it expands 20 times and it sets within 20 seconds. So if the water is flowing in the basement area, you inject this liquid in the available water and then stop water instantly. I will show you a video for this. This is the water which is flowing in the basement. So this contractor has drilled the hole here just to inject the water, PU injection from here. Now he is inserting a nozzle for a grouting, and now he will start injection grouting. Yeah, now he will be starting that PU grout. Now, after maybe few seconds, you are going to see a PU grout is coming from this area. There will be an arrow showing it. I will show you here. And now this is coming out, and it's setting so fast that water is getting stopped. And after maybe 3 minutes, you will see this all water gets stopped. I will slightly go further fast. You will see here. Slowly and steadily, the entire water is getting stopped. This is a continuous video, and this water is stopped permanently. So this is a type of injection grouting. It can be used while water is flowing. So this is very, very advanced thing. No doubt the cost is there, but in some areas where you want to stop water instantaneously and you can't go beyond the structure from the positive side, this is the best method. You can do it from negative side. So this is another drawing for a basement waterproofing. This is another method we will show you here, photographs, loose lead membrane. And then your basement become waterproof. Again, the podium slabs, same method. I think so. We have seen these photographs. I think so. We will stop here because all these things are typical applications of this membranes for all these toilets, and this is very lengthy. It will take 1 or 2 hours. So we'll stop here. Now you can ask me some questions if you have got in your mind. So, ma'am, the presentation over. Now you can ask questions if the students have any question about the membrane or waterproofing.
Yes, sir. Ishani.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable guidance. And I'm sure everyone found it very interesting and informative at the same time. We have a lot of curious minds here today. So I request the students to drop their questions in the chat box, and we hope that we can cover all the questions and make sure that everyone has the doubts cleared. So without any further ado, let's get on with the question answer session. For the Q&A session, I would like to invite Ishani. Over to you, Ishani.
Thank you, Rohit. Our first question is, sir, what are the issues caused by waterproofing failure?
Basic issue is steel rusting. Steel rusting happens, and then the strength of your concrete and entire building is on a stake. So basic is the stability of a structure. So if waterproofing is a problem, then the first thing is a stability of a structure, because we use steel in a concrete, and because of water ingress, steel start rusting, and it expands 20 times than the volume of original steel. And once it start expanding, it cracks the concrete, and a lot of damage to happens, and it will be dangerous to the life of your building also. So waterproofing is basically will give you, if there is a problem, then stability is the basic, and then comes the durability, and then comes the hygiene and everything. So first is stability. Next.
The next one is, sir, what was the biggest problem or case study on waterproofing you have seen? Can you please tell the experience in it and how it was handled?
Difficult, because every site has got a problem. There is no big or small problem. Every problem has its own importance. So there is nothing like a big or small or important or less important. There are different things. I will just share you one experience. We were visiting one of the basement site where water table is huge, and the raft was got lifted up. So we had asked that contractor, why this raft is lifting, and have you done a waterproofing? Well, sir, waterproofing has been done, but this raft is getting lifted. Well, so much of water pressure is there, so raft is lifting. Can we release that water? So we taken a core in the raft, and if it's possible, I'll show a video. A 10-feet height fountain starts oozing out from the basement. So this is a particular problem. If the water is not being taken, drained out properly, then it will lift entire raft and it will start cracking. So that was a very serious problem. Next.
How can one become waterproofing contractor?
Very good question. That is, at least somebody has thought that one can become a waterproofing contractor. See, why I'm telling you this is a good question, because till today, people are uneducated people, non-technical people, are working in this field. But last 5-6 years, when I'm educating people, there are many engineers who are taking interest in waterproofing, and they are becoming waterproofing contractors. So friends, if you want to become a waterproofing contractor, then minimum 3 to 4 years you have to see, or you have to work nicely on any construction site, see different problems on site, because that understanding of the problem will give you definitely a knowledge about how that waterproofing problem can be solved. So if you want to become a waterproofing contractor, don't start a waterproofing business once you get B civil degree and next day. Have patience, 3-4 years site experience, and then working with, or maybe you can work with any waterproofing contractor for 3-4 years, and then you can start your business. So it is a good practice. Don't start immediately. Thank you.
Sir, the next question is, how can we save IDP membrane from damaging during further construction process?
In the photographs, I'll show you. We have got photographs here. Let me share you. Yeah. This is a foam sheet. Can you see my this thing?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
In the last slide, you can see this is a foam sheet. This is 25 mm thick sheet. We paste that sheet on this membrane before the backfilling. So this foam protects your LDP membrane from further damaging. So such type of foam sheets are available in the market. You can use these foam sheets to protect the membrane from damaging. Next.
Sir, what are some new recent innovations in waterproofing technology in the market?
What I just shown you, the entire things are new innovation. They are just last 5 to 6 years. These membranes are been available, or coatings are been available. This is absolutely new technology. Next.
What is the duration till when 100% efficiency is maintained for the waterproofing?
I did not get you.
What is the duration till when 100% efficiency is maintained for the waterproofing?
You can get that efficiency till the life of your building. If the waterproofing execution is done correctly and it has been decided from the design stage itself, because normally people start waterproofing thinking after completion of basement or maybe a terrace waterproofing, but people should start waterproofing concept from the design stage itself. So once your building is under design, at that time only you should start designing the waterproofing also, so that nicely drawings has been prepared, specification has been laid, and then step by step, every stage you can take the waterproofing things, and then that system can remain up to the lifetime of your building. Thank you.
Sir, there's a last question. What motivated you to come in waterproofing profession?
See, there is no motivation or something like that. I was see, my career start when I was a sales site engineer in one of the projects in Pune. But when I joined Ready Mix Concrete, which is the first ready mix concrete plant was in India in 1990. I joined that as a sales engineer. From that year, I started getting new technology exposure in my civil engineering. So after that ready mix concrete, I started thinking of something new to be formed or new to be joined. And then I got a reference of all such construction chemical references. I joined that field, and last 25, maybe 30 years, I'm in this field. And I'm liking this field. So this become my passion nowadays. Thank you. Hello. All questions are over.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I think there is one more question in the chat box. Sir, if you permit, can we take that question also?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Can you please read the question?
Yes, sir. The question is from Abhay, and he asks how to deal with running water in basement of 10 years old building.
I've shown you the PU injection grouting. If you can use PU injection grouting, then you can stop the water which is running in the basement, any age old building, not a problem. And it can be stopped from the negative side, so you don't have to worry at all. You just use that PU injection grouting pump and PU and start injection that. Your problem is solved. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your very informative answers. Before we proceed, I have a short announcement for the students. At the time of vote of thanks, you will be provided a feedback link in the chat box, and only after successful completion of the feedback form, you will be granted with an e-certificate. Now I request all the participants to please turn on the cameras so we can take a group photograph.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I leave this meeting? Thank you, everybody.
Rohit?
Sir, just a minute. We would like to give a vote of thanks.
Sure.
Okay, for giving a vote of thanks, I would like to invite Ishani again. Over to you, Ishani.
A very good evening to everyone. I, Ishani, consider it a privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the Civil Department, AISSMS College of Engineering. First, I would like to thank our honorable guest speaker, Mr. Jayant Khode, for such an encouraging and informative session. I would also like to thank our principal, Dr. Bormane sir, and our HOD, Dr. Avari sir, for always motivating students to achieve overall excellence. A major thanks to Mrs. Chivande ma'am, who played a key role in arranging this session. Also to student coordinators and all the co-members who worked really hard to make this session successful. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants for mentoring the decorum throughout the webinar and for actively participating in the question answer session, which has helped many students to get their doubts cleared. Thank you.
Sir, now I declare the session is over.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
The feedback link is posted in the chat box. Please fill it.
Recording stopped.
Ma'am, can we end meeting?
Yes, I think all the students have given feedback, so we can end meeting.
Yes, Adhiraj. हो संकेत.